So, what documentation do you need to assess my case? So, we're going to answer this question right away, so you'll be able to have a good understanding on how the process works. Number one, initially for a pre-qualification, I don't need much information. Most of the time, you or somebody in my team will reach out to you if you want us to help you out, and we just have a conversation. We'll ask you a bunch of questions, and we can tell you really quickly if we think the probability for you to get an approval is really high and what type of options you will be able to get. And at that time, we don't need any documents. This is just a conversation to make sure that you want to move forward and make the process swift and fast. Now, once we know that you want to proceed, then we do need to ask for documentation that the bank will require. As a broker, have in mind that as a broker, I'm going to ask you more documentation than a bank. Why? Because the bank sometimes have your accounts on file, or have they have your account on file, so they already have most of your information, so the number of documents is less. As a broker, I may want to present you to 1, 2, 3, or many lenders. Okay, have in mind this is not going to damage your credit, but by me assessing your situation with better lenders, with more lenders, will give you more options. And I need to ask you, I prefer to ask you upfront all that documentation, so I don't have to keep asking you and bugging you every few hours for another document, because the process is not user friendly. So I will ask you upfront a bunch of documents, and I will use some of those documents depending on the lender and what your situation is. Now, in terms of income, I'm gonna, in most cases, you ask you for pay stubs. If you're employed, and a letter of employment, T4s, things like that. If you're self-employed, I'm gonna ask for tax returns, notice of assessment. If you have a company or you own your own business, maybe business financials. Have in mind that when I ask for business financials, that does not mean that the company is gonna guarantee the loan, but because you own the company, the bank wants to make sure that the company that you work for, your own company, is in solid ground. So those are most of the times. A lot of the time, the bank will also want to have bank statements to show rental income and perhaps pay stubs that the money is deposited into your bank account, things like that. But we'll guide you through this income verification. Down payment. Usually we get savings accounts and checking accounts, TFSAs, investment accounts, RSPs. Things of that nature. Also give letters if the money is coming from a close relative. Have in mind that some lenders and some programs require only 1 month, others require 3 months of bank statements. And there may be cases for compliance that the bank will want to see even more than 3 months bank statements. Now, what about the property? On the property, if it's a purchase, we'll want a purchase agreement, MLS listing. In a lot of cases, there's an appraisal required. We'll order that appraisal on your behalf. On cases of refinancing, we need home insurance to make sure that the property is insurable or can be insured, and things of that nature. So most likely, in most cases, the appraisal is where people get the majority of the focus. Now, we also require you to sign an authorization to review your credit, and we're gonna go directly to Equifax one time and get your credit report. As a broker, we can submit your file to different lenders, but we will protect your credit history. That means that we'll pull your credit report only once, and we can go with the same credit report to different lenders, either banks, credit unions, or other lenders, and protect your credit and get you more options, which is very cool. Now, in terms of compliance documents, we would need an engagement letter. This also has the authorization to review your credit, so you understand that we're acting on your behalf. We're also gonna have you sign when we get the approval directly from the bank or the credit union, the signed approval. We also are required by the provincial regulators to show you the cost of credit, so how much interest you're going to be paying for the duration of the loan, things of that nature. So those are compliance documents once your mortgage is approved by the bank. And have in mind that I am licensed, or my office is licensed in different provinces: British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and different provinces require different documentation, but we'll make sure that you understand everything that you sign, and super important that you review the fine print. In summary, yes, I know lenders are very, I would say, complicated. They want a lot of documentation. We'll try to make sure that we ask for most of it up front, so the process is easy, but sometimes they even want blood tests. I'm just kidding. They don't need a blood test, but we do need a lot of documentation, and they want to make sure that when they approve that loan, that approval is solid. We would need financial documents, property documents, an application, and compliance documents to be signed at the end. The process may seem very daunting, but we'll make sure that you can get it, we can explain it to you in a proper way. And also, the process now, because of technology, is very simple. Most of the things can be uploaded to a secure system, and you can sign electronically with e-signature software. Banks now accept that as proof of signatures. All the best. Camilo Rodriguez, past president of the BC Mortgage Broker Association, licensed in 3 provinces, been doing mortgages for 22 years, and I'm super happy and excited to help people build wealth with debt. For me, debt is just a way for you and your family to build wealth, either on your principal residence or through rental properties, and to be able to lower your borrowing cost to the best way possible. All the best.